I'm Lauren Riley. I am your counselor from Boston College. Did everybody get one of these? Yeah, I think I got everyone as I came in. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm just going to give you some general information about BC. Like, keep it short and sweet, and I really want you to be able to ask the questions that you might have. First and foremost, we're located in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. We're talking about our location. We are on the border of Boston, so technically we have the largest football stadium in the city of Boston because our football stadium falls over that Boston line there. With that, has anybody been to campus before? Anybody visited campus? So we have a very much a closed campus. So there are 4 sides to the campus. You know when you're stepping off of it for the most part. We do have the T lines, a couple of T lines. That public transportation system really close to campus. So a lot of our students will go into the city of Boston to do internships, jobs, take advantage of the dining, the shopping, all of the events, sporting events, all that good stuff. So it's very accessible in terms of getting to the city, but we do very much have a campus. In terms of our academics, you will see on the middle, like if you open this completely to the middle, you're gonna see all the different divisions that we have. So we have 4 academic divisions, undergraduate academic divisions. We have the College of Arts and Sciences, which is our largest. About 2/3 of our students will study in that. We have the Carroll School of Management, which is our second largest. That is our business school, so if you're interested in management or business. We have the Lynch School of Education and Human Development, so that's for our individuals or students interested in going into education, of course, but then also counseling. And then last but not least, we have our Canal School of Nursing. So that has 1 major, nursing. So those are the options for you. When you apply, you do have to check the box indicating which of the divisions that you would like to apply to and you want your major to be housed in. We will cross over into that. I'll get to that in a little bit. We're considered a medium-sized school, about 9,300 undergrads. We do have grad students as well. Some other big things, about 50% of our students will study abroad during their time at BC. That's big for us. We also have over 280 clubs on campus. It's really cool. At the beginning of every single year, we have a massive involvement fair where all of the clubs are out there trying to convince you to sign up for them and throwing candy at you. You can sign up for as many or as few as you'd like. We are Division I athletics, so sporting events are pretty big on campus. On certain Fridays when there's a football game, classes will be canceled for the afternoon in preparation for that. So you definitely feel that culture as well. That is something that's important to you in terms of having that school spirit around that. Most important to our identity, Jesuit Catholic institution. So I always say there are 2 types of people who respond to that. There are people who are terrified, like you're gonna ring a bell and make me go to church every single morning. And then there are the people who are comfortable with it and are excited about it. What the Jesuit Catholic mission means to us really is focused in 2 areas, is what I usually say. So educating the whole person and being men and women for others. That's the real identity of our Jesuit Catholic mission. So educating the whole person, you do have a core curriculum that you have to take when you come to BC. It's part of the experience. That being said, you go ahead and do one of these. There's just a couple seats up here if you want to come. That being said, we're not trying to pigeonhole you. We know that you're not necessarily, math might not be your favorite subject. That's not my favorite subject. That's why I use that as an example. But it's not about just studying math or studying philosophy and theology, which you do have to study. It's about the skills that come from those different subject areas. So philosophy and theology, that requirement scares a fair amount of people. If you wanted to take comparative theology, if you wanted to study the great philosophers and take a class like that, you're more than welcome to do that. But one of our most popular classes that satisfy the philosophy and theology program is actually a volunteer class. So you volunteer in the city or in the area. You could even volunteer on campus for about 10 to 12 hours a week. And then you have a 1 class period that is all about reflecting on your service within the context of philosophical and theological works. So I hope you can kind of see, we're not forcing you to study the Bible every single morning. If that's not something you want to do, if you want to, you're more than welcome to do that. Being men and women for others, other tenet for that I think is most important. Roughly 90% of our students will do volunteer work during their time. They will participate in service. And I think for all of y'all, it's really important to think about what that means for the student body. Because our students aren't just on campus in classes being competitive, or not being competitive, but in a very rigorous program in class. they're also giving back to the community, whether it's on campus, off campus, internationally, service clubs and organizations, and service immersion trips all over the world as well. So that's really important to us. Now, I can keep going. That's my job, to sit here and talk about BC all day. Do you have any questions about us as a school? Not the admission part, because I will get to that. I know everybody's super excited about that. But what about the school, us as a school? I don't bite, promise. Here to answer any questions. If you don't have any, that's fine. I can keep going. But I just want to check in before I just keep talking at you. You know, I covered everything you need to know about BC right now. Okay. All right. I'll happily keep. Oh, here we go. Great.
Location-wise?
Yeah.
And how far is it from
Boston?
everything?
From everything, yeah. So the nice part is that we do have Cleveland Circle, which is right around the corner. And that is a walk that could be about 10 minutes. And there you can find restaurants, Walgreens, CVS, coffee shops, Chipotle, all that kind of good stuff there. If you wanted to get into the city of Boston, it does depend on which T line you take, but it could take anywhere, and it also depends where you're going in the city, but it could take anywhere from 25 minutes to 45 minutes. It just depends where you wanna be down there. Similar to that, I have into the off-campus life. When you go to Boston College, or if you choose to come to Boston College, you get either 3 years or 4 years of housing. If you get 3 years of housing, you live on campus usually freshman, sophomore, and senior year. So that junior year is when you go off campus. That is because many students will study abroad during that time, so it's very popular for students to study abroad then. Our off-campus housing housing is about 100 yards from the base of campus, so it's not very far in terms of walking. Many of our students will walk. We also do have a shuttle bus that goes. And the really cool part of that fact, that is one of my favorite facts about BC, is that 98% of our students will come back on campus for senior year. And that's pretty unique because you see a lot of schools where it's about maybe they go off campus sophomore year and then they don't come back at all, right? You're living in the apartments, you're doing your thing. But 98% of our students choose to come back on campus for their senior year to all be together, living on campus and having that experience. So we're pretty proud of that. We think it says a lot about the community. Other questions? Yeah.
What are some of the study abroad programs that you partner with?
Mm-hmm. So in terms of the partnerships, many of them are through BC. So like we have direct partnerships with institutions abroad. So it's not as if like you would be going through a program that Georgetown has or that BU has. It would be like directly through us. Some of our most popular places are Italy, pretty much anywhere in Europe. Australia is becoming very popular as well. We've had a couple students go to South Africa, Latin America too as well. Realistically, I've never heard of a student wanting to go somewhere and not being able to find a placement. Considering how many students, that 50% of students go abroad, like they have a lot of options to satisfy all those students. Mm-hmm. Other questions? Yeah.
Are any of those study abroad places like satellite locations?
In terms of?
Like, we talked to a different school earlier in the week, and they have like, basically it's like the campus.
It's like Boston College like I know Suffolk University has that and some other schools. Yeah, so it's not our campus necessarily. It is a campus that is in, it is a school that is in said location. Does that make sense? Okay. Other questions? Yeah.
The internship programs that you guys have, like what
Internship, career fairs, want me to just go?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, so cool part is that we do have internship fairs and career fairs every year, usually twice a year, where companies will come on campus specifically recruiting Boston College students. Many of our students will ultimately get internships through our career center. We do have a great career center that has an online portal called EagleLink, where companies are able to post jobs specifically looking for BC students. And usually they're in the city of Boston. They could be outside the city. They could be in California if you want to do a summer internship there, or just about anywhere, sometimes all over the world as well. That being said, a lot of our students too will also get internships through alumni. Our alumni network is really, really strong. And students tend to, we actually just started this new program that matches students with current alumni. So, does anybody know if they're possibly interested in studying? Yeah, just yell it out.
Psychology.
Psychology. So say you realize that you were really interested in psychology, maybe like, do we think doctor psychology, research psychology, child psychology?
Doctor, probably.
Doctor, okay. So what it would do, the idea is that you'd be able to log on and register on this website, and you'd be able to look at thousands of alumni that we have and see what they're currently doing as a profession and be able to reach out to them, and they would match as a mentor for you. So we just started that this year to kind of help students who, you might think that you are interested in a specific subject, but you don't know you like it until you do it or until you know the intricacies of it. So that's a great opportunity for students when it comes to deciding internships and jobs and career paths. You have a question as well?
Is studying abroad grant funded?
You mean through the university? So the tuition in that's hard. So in terms of a financial aid that you're going to get, we do a need-based financial aid. If it's federal aid, it's not going to necessarily transition unless it is an accredited American institution there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the tuition is going to be different. If you do have specific funding though that's for scholarships, you would be able to, not necessarily merit-based scholarships, but again, like the grant aspect, you would be able to transfer that. Does that make sense? Yeah.
What about work study opportunities?
So that I'll discuss those opportunities when I talk about financial aid. That sound good? So I'll include that in the admission portion. Anything else about us as a school? Yeah.
Is there a theater program?
Yes. Mm-hmm. We actually had Amy Poehler graduated from Boston College. Yes, I know. Shocking. And I just had a meeting. Our theater director came to campus. Came to campus. He's on campus always. Came to our admission office to give us information about the different programs that they have. But they put on multiple productions every single year. Some of them are written by faculty members, of course, but some of them are also student run and directed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to keep going to admission unless anybody else can think of anything right now. Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah, no. Guys, that's what I'm here for.
What's your most popular major?
Oh, economics. So, and the reason that is because we now have econ within the College of Arts and Sciences, and we also have econ within the School of Management. So that, like, sheer numbers wise. Other ones, political science, psychology is very popular, accounting, finance, human development is very popular. Nursing as a whole is just constantly growing. It is our smallest school that we have in terms of the divisions, but that is also very, very much a growing field. All right, I'm going to talk about admission. Who's excited? Nobody. Everybody usually looks like they're going to pass out when I say that. All right, so first and foremost, we are a Common App school, so you can apply to us via the Common Application. I'll go into deadlines after. In terms of what we're going to look for, we are going to look at your transcript, first and foremost. I want to know what you're doing, how you're doing in school, but mainly in the context of your high school. So it is our job as admission people to become familiar with your curriculum and the type of classes that you're taking and what is offered in your school. So it's really important for us to understand how you're challenging yourself, how you're increasing your rigor every year is important to us, and to see an upward trend is usually what we're looking for. We know life happens, and we know there can be some bumps, and we know that when you maybe switch to a higher level class, there can be some bumps there, but we just want to see how you're progressing each year and ideally increasing your rigor of curriculum every year. That is really important to us. In general, we say we're looking for more A's than B's, but an A- average is that middle 50%. So whenever I give these averages, right, numbers, because I give numbers and then people are like, oh, if I don't have exactly this, I'm never getting in. These are middle 50%, so everything is, there are students above and below. So I'm assuming you've also heard that from other institutions. Yeah, I still get phone calls like, well, I don't have that, so I'm gonna be in that. I'm like, well, that's not what we're saying. Then we do look at testing. SAT or ACT, it is up to you. If you take both 10 times, submit them all because we will automatically super score. And then we will also automatically only consider the score that we consider highest. So say I see your ACT super score and your SAT super scored, and I say, okay, well, their ACT in our mind is considered the higher score. I'm not gonna look at the SAT. I'm gonna use the ACT in that review process. Make sense? We also do not require subject tests. If you submit them, I see them, or they're not required. So if you're really proud of your subject tests that you've taken them and you want to submit them, awesome. But it is not necessarily required to do so. Okay. Outside of the SAT, middle 50% about a 1390 to a 1450, and then 33 to a 34 for the ACT. Again, everything is about context, so I like to remind students that to keep that all in mind when I'm saying these numbers. Almost more important, I personally say, than just you being a student at BC is you being a person at BC. So I want to know what you're doing outside of school. I don't care what it is. Are you working? Are you helping out at home? Are you part of clubs and organizations? Are you playing sports? Are you volunteering? Are you doing research? Whatever it is, I want to know about it. Our job as admission people, I think it's important to remember, and I don't know if anyone else has said this to you, we're not just admitting a class, we're shaping a class. We're bringing in humans, we're bringing in the next community, and I want to see what type of person that you're going to possibly be on campus. And that's why all of those things that I mentioned, and maybe I forgot some too, all of those things are important, and I want to just see what you're doing and what you're possibly going to bring to campus. Then we do have the essay. Sure, you're on. The Common App essay. Please make sure you write about something that you care about, something that's important to you. We also do have a supplemental essay, which is 4 questions. You choose one of them. That is for you to write about something different. I have seen students copy their personal statement essay into that supplemental question and just like cut it. That is not what that's for. We want more information about you. I think the biggest mistake that every student makes in the college admission process, I don't care if you're applying to BC or any other school, UMass Amherst, Texas, I don't care where you're going, not you, but in general, or you need to remember that this is a story. I am seeing you right now, but I don't get to know who you are from the context of the 17, possible 18, however many years of life that you are bringing to our campus. If you don't tell me in the application, I do not know, because that is the only chance I see you. So that's really important. So with that, when I say that students don't necessarily realize that it's a story, it's because it's very easy to think of this process as disjointed, right? You have your transcript, you have to get that released, you have to take your SATs or ACTs, which are miserable, you have to get your counselors and your teachers to get to request their recommendations, all that jazz. You know what I'm probably gonna see through your activities, because that's pretty laid out, you've already probably been doing those. Whatever you sit back, when you sit back and look at all those other things, whatever you can say to yourself, you know what, this is really important to me and she's not gonna know this from all the other pieces, that's what you should be writing about in your essay or in your supplemental statement. The other part of the application in the Common App that I think goes the most underutilized is the additional information section. There is a reason for that. For example, last year I had a student who had 5 M's during their junior year. No one explained to me why. I had no idea. So their GPA was kind of all wacky because I had practically no grades for them for their junior year. If I don't know, what am I supposed to think there? Now, it usually means medical, so I'm trying to figure it out. But later, after all this digging, after trying to figure all this out, I found out the kid had 4 concussions during his junior year. So he was just done. He was just completely wiped. That also explained why his testing was probably a little bit lower. I shouldn't have to do that digging. That is something where if you have things you want to share with me, make sure you're including that in your additional information section. In general, I like to say the rule of thumb is the additional information section is for context, not excuses. If you set fire in the bathroom and you're trying to tell me that it wasn't your fault that you set a fire in the bathroom, which I've seen in that additional information section before, that's an excuse for an action that you made. If you need to explain to me why you have M's on your record or why you were unable to take X class, That's gonna be important in that additional information section. Does that make sense? Okay. Then we're gonna look at a counselor recommendation and 2 teacher recommendations of your choice. I like to remind students, point of advice, best teacher recommendations don't always come from the teachers that you got the A in their class, but that you worked really, really hard to get whatever grade it was, because guess what? Math isn't your subject, but you came after school for help, you tried super hard, and it will tell me about your grit and the type of student you are. Okay? Applying deadlines. Any questions about that whole application that I just mentioned? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. If you think of anything, cut me off, okay? Application or for applying times. ED, this is our first year. We have early decision 1, November 1st, early decision 2, January 1st, and a regular decision, which is also January 1st. Early decision is a binding commitment. Congratulations, you get in, you are coming to Boston College, you are an Eagle. Fabulous. With that though, there are a couple of things. You will have to sign something, your counselor will have to sign something, and your parent or guardian or family members will have to sign something saying that we're all under this understanding. Now, if you're making that commitment, there's also a financial commitment to that, right? So we understand too that if you're wanting to compare scholarships, or if you're wanting to look elsewhere and see what other decisions you get back, then early decision might not be the choice for you. If you are applying to other, you are not allowed to apply to other early decision schools. If you are applying to early action schools, which usually early action schools don't like if you're also applying to an early decision school, it would be expected that you would, of course, withdraw those applications and obviously not attend there. So realistically, you apply to 1 early decision school if BC is your number 1 choice. That being said, there are students who BC is their number 1 choice, but they want to consider other financial aid packages. That is fine. And that would mean that regular decision might be the better fit for you. When it, similarly, just to back up for a second, early decision for us for this year is not a demonstration of interest. Students are getting confused by that, counselors are getting confused by that, because other schools it can be like that, where it's like you're demonstrating interest. That is not the case for us. It's just for students who are ready to apply early, who feel like their application is as strong as it could be, and want to try to make that commitment at that time. Okay? So do not consider it like if you wear Boston College clothing to school every single day, except for I guess today, like that you should be applying early decision. Okay? Does that make sense? It's not a demonstration of interest. It's just for students who are ready to apply and want to make that commitment. In terms of financial aid, we meet 100% of demonstrated need. So, say we require the FAFSA and we require the CSS profile as well. When you submit those to us, when it comes back with your EFC, right, your estimated family contribution, whatever the gap is between that and the cost of Boston College, we will meet 100% of that. We're really proud of that we meet 100% of that gap. What that means, though, that we do not offer a lot of merit-based scholarships because our funding is primarily all going to the need-based scholarships. Part of your need-based scholarships will be grants, loans, and work-study opportunities as well on campus. Almost all of our offices have a work-study position. When you come on campus, you can apply for those and submit applications there. You have to do a scoot out. You can totally go. That's totally fine. I see you trying to go. That's totally fine.
Sorry.
No, not a problem. And then, of course, the other deadline is regular decision. That's January 1st. And so those are the 2 options for you for applying. Questions about application process? Anything I can go over for that? Oh, yeah. So this is optional if you just want to get emails or get mail and all that good stuff. Anything else? Any questions? I miss anything? I just had a second coffee for today, so I'm feeling pretty good about me being on my game here, but did I not mention anything?
How about dual enrollment,
Great.
yeah, do you take that?
Great question. So dual enrollment classes will count to give you advanced standing and place you out of a core requirement. So if you take a history class, right, in a dual enrollment form, we would be able to grant you advanced standing or advanced standing credits, what we call them, so you'd be able to place out of partially part of your requirement for history, but it wouldn't make you not have to take a class Does that make sense? So just free up an opportunity for you to take another class. So it's not like getting rid of credits that you would have to take at BC. You'd still have to take the credits there, but you just be able to place out of some things possibly. Yeah.
Do you have core classes you have to take each year, or is like your first year you just have your like gen ed?
Great question. It's up to you. You have a core curriculum. Many students will save like the arts requirement for senior year because they're like, oh, just play around then. If that's not necessarily something that you're passionate about, but you want to take ceramics and have fun senior year, great. We do encourage students to take some of their core during their freshman year because it's a great opportunity for you to explore. Again, like one of our cool classes is called drama and like dramatizing history or dramatizing politics, and it's all about the way like theater and plays into politics and how politics ultimately shows up in like the theater industry. It's co-taught by our director actually of our theater department. I'm a faculty member in history. So we have like really cool classes that satisfy 2 subject areas. So we encourage students like take advantage of those and do that freshman year. But if you wanted to focus on like intro level, you're interested in studying
Did you psychology?
psychology, if you wanted to focus on intro level psych classes like your freshman year, you can do that and save more for later. We do encourage students to at least take a couple during their freshman year. But it's technically up to you. Except for a first year writing seminar, but that's like everybody. Other things? Oh, thank you. Okay. Nothing? I do encourage you, if you can get to campus, we're about an hour and a half away, because I did the drive this morning. If you can get to campus, I really do encourage you to come visit. Honestly, that's the best advice I can give you for any of the schools you're applying to. I know it can be hard, especially if you're starting to apply to schools that are outside of Massachusetts, but at the end of the day, there are thousands of schools that have psychology programs. And the best way for you to know if it's going to be a good option for you is if you get on campus and meet or talk to those students. With that, if you are interested in applying to Texas, for example, every single one of our offices, usually I haven't heard of one that doesn't, has student workers who do tours or who volunteer in the office. If you are interested and you can't make it to Texas or to wherever other place you're going, call us and see if you can talk to a student who is either interested or studying in your specific area, because it can be super helpful for you to be able to have that student experience. I went to BC twice. I graduated undergrad, I did my grad degree, and I work here now, so you can say I like it a little bit. But like, at the end of the day, the current student is the expert. Like, it doesn't matter how many years I've been there or I went there, like they're living it now, so they are the ones who you want to talk to. Okay? So that's my best piece of like general advice, besides for remembering your application as a story. Yeah?
When's the next open house?
So we don't have any fall open houses. We do have Saturday sessions though that are like information and tour sessions. You can find that right online. So there are a variety of ones. I think we actually have, is it this weekend? No. Yeah, it has to be this weekend because we have a football game next weekend. So there might be one happening this weekend on Saturday. But if you go to bc.edu/visit, you'll see the daily options and you'll also see some of our weekend ones as well.
Alright, thank you.
Anything else? Going once.
I love that.
Yeah. We do have a lot of schools. Okay, well, if you do have any additional questions, I'll be here for a couple minutes, happy to help. Also, if anything does come up in the application process, we have jobs for a reason, so don't hesitate to reach out to our office, whether it's me or another colleague who's there, or even when you visit, if you want to talk to one of us, if you're able to visit, we're happy to help, okay? Good luck with this year, I promise you'll make it through.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.